All right. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. It is Maisha T. Hill. Grateful to be here with each and every one of you. I'm really excited for this opportunity to go live and read Heal Your Way Forward. Really excited, just trying to make sure we're live everywhere we need to be live. I'm really excited for this opportunity. Um, so we are definitely going to enjoy our time together. We're going to be reading Heal Your Way Forward. So take your time and come in the room. Tell me, how's your day today? Really looking forward to diving right in. So just give me 1 second. Having a few technical difficulties, but they are not difficulties that we haven't faced before. So here we go. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we are going to go ahead and we're going to read this book together. We're going to read on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time. So I'm managing multiple things at the same time. Just updating this for people who are watching. We are reading Heal Your Way Forward. We're on chapter 1, page 29 to 30. That is what we're going to be doing this afternoon, friends. So you can, if you're at work, just set your phone down, listen like you're at a podcast. Um, and wanting to remind you all a few things that you can. That's not it because we're not having that event till Sunday. But you can pre order your copy of Heal Your Way Forward at your local bookstore. You can pre order it on Amazon, wherever you shop for books. You should be ordered to pre order the book. This is what the book looks like. Look at that. Isn't it pretty? It's still so pretty, but now it comes in paperback. I'll have a preview of the paperback next week. I'm really excited to show y'all what it looks like. I'm going to, in the meantime, bring up. Cool. Listen along as long as you can. That's dope. I'm going to bring up on the screen the actual chapter. Now, if you're watching on a different, depending on where you're watching from, you might not be able to see the reading, and that's okay. We're just going to keep reading from this book, Heal Your Way Forward, The Co-Conspirator's Guide to a Anti-Racist Future. All right, so let's see. I wonder if I can make this. Then you all can't see it if I make it that big. I'm gonna go stop my screen sharing. I'm gonna present it again. We're reading live. Hi, friends. We are reading Heal Your Way Forward live. We're gonna start at, if you need to grab your book, you can start reading from chapter 1, and we're starting at the top of page 29. I'm gonna read this from the beginning. We're starting in this book. We're gonna go to my physical book. I'm gonna look for page. Oh, we are still in the intro. We are not even in chapter 1. That can't be right. It is right. I thought we were on chapter 1. Oh, this is chapter 1. So let's see if it lines up. Yep. So top of page 29. That's where we're going to read from and Heal Your Way Forward, the Co-Conspirators Guide to an Anti-Racist Future. We're going to read from the screen where it says, the reality is most folks don't want to accept the unknown or not have control over their life, choices, or decisions. However, in this work of healing trauma and repairing and moving forward in solidarity, we must allow ourselves the grace to get things wrong and allow things to be unresolved. You can't unlearn a lifetime of socialized beliefs in a day, but you can take continuous baby steps toward a new future, leading into discomfort and the acceptance of non closure. Wow, that's one of our community agreements. But this work requires self awareness. If you aren't aware of how you too, even with the best of intentions, are perpetuating oppression, you will continue to be a performative ally. And I know it's a term that makes a lot of good white folks uncomfortable, but if we can't be aware of where we're going, we are working to alleviate perceptions rather than unlearn perceptions. It will never be co conspiratorial, it will always be performative. Waking from the performative allyship requires us to drop into the awareness. Like the movie The Matrix, Neo saw signs that something had to change. He dreamt of alternative universes and knew that there was more to life than how he was living. Eventually, he followed the white rabbit, which led him to Morpheus and the grave decision to wake up to awareness. In the famous blue pill, red pill scene, Morpheus is inviting Neo to a new level of consciousness. Morpheus says, "It's the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth." And Neo asks, "What truth?" And Morpheus says that you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage, into a prison you cannot smell or taste or touch, a prison for your mind. We could say a lot to like what that means in this current reality or in this current moment that we're living in right now. There's a lot actually that I think about when I think about this matrix, right? Dr. Patricia Hill Collins, not me, Dr. Patricia Hill Collins talks about the matrix of oppression. And so when I was writing chapter 1 of this book, it's like if I could pick one movie to tell people in white bodies who you might be able to relate to, it's like being Neo in the Matrix, right? So you have to either think of the red pill or the blue pill, and which pill will you take towards the liberated journey? And if you were to go watch The Matrix today and see that scene and see this journey that Neo took, the journey that Neo took is the journey that all of us are taking in our relationship to waking up from the system and healing our way forward. So let's go on in chapter 1. It says the last page in the chapter. This conversation reminds me of the awakening of 2020 when BIPOC educators were informing allies of the racial awakening that was take place. Allies needed a deeper understanding that it wasn't just the murders of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor. It was about the matrix of oppression, a term coined by Dr. Patricia Hill Collins that allowed for those murders. But in order to stop the violence of oppression, we must recognize that there are many different ways one might experience domination, facing many challenges in which one obstacle, such as race, may overlap with other sociological features, such as race, age, and sex, may affect an individual in extremely different ways. In such simple cases as varying geography, socioeconomic status, or simply throughout time. While we have many unique experiences, we often play out our individual oppression in our interpersonal relationships. Like in the Matrix, the interlocking systems of oppression keeps us on the hamster wheel of sameness. Anything seen as a disruption to the system must be terminated. So while many well-meaning white folks began their anti-racism journey with good intentions, they were not willing to risk being seen outside the lens of sameness. In a world where we all fight to be seen, the path of healing is often an isolating, nonlinear path that many are not willing to take. No matter how many times educators told folks liberation is the goal, folks choose to be prisoner to what feels comfortable rather than leaning into the awareness of discomfort that comes with awakening. Let me read that one more time. I end this chapter by saying, no matter how many times educators, so I'll say specifically Black women, because I'm a Black woman, no matter how many times we've told you all the goal is liberation, people keep choosing themselves in this moment. People keep choosing themselves with their rugged individual belief systems of knowing what's the right thing. So no matter how many times we tell you all, this is happening the way it's supposed to happen, the way the news is coming out is dysregulating your nervous system. Liberation is the goal, refocus. Sometimes people choose to be prisoners to what is rather than leaning into the awareness of discomfort that comes with that awakening. And that awakening is powerful because that awakening is what keeps you in the work. It keeps you on the journey. And so when you get to the end of chapter 1, these are the best questions. A lot of people ask me all the time, hey, Maisha, I'm in a book club. I'm not sure what I should use. Each week as we're discussing the book, this book is like 11 or 12 chapters. There are 11 sets of discussion questions for a book club. And one of the things I want to talk about the book clubs are like, if you've done a book club with like Heal Your Way Forward, there are some books that need to go for the length of time of the author's book, because a lot of people are consuming so much information. You don't even let this settle. A lot of people told me that because this book, if you go to page 31, if we're counting, a lot of people said what slowed them down from gulping this down is doing the reflection questions and sitting with them before moving on. We are a society of memorization and fact checking. And okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. But the intentions of these journal questions were to get you to slow down. And here's a couple questions. One is, what does healing look like on your look like for you? You know, when thinking of ways you uphold oppression in your life, what do you want to learn to let go of? Right? If it is the goal, what are you doing to actively liberate yourselves from the construct of imperialist, ableist, white supremacist, capitalist patriarchy, right? And so these questions are really good discussion questions where you could probably just read one question and then something would come up and you'd be like, oh my gosh, I never thought about it that way. For our family joining on Instagram and TikTok, thank you for listening to me to read. I was reading again, chapter 1. We just ended chapter 1 this week of Heal Your Way Forward. I want to empower you all to please pre-order the book, pre-order the paperback. We are planning some fun parties around it. I know it's already on hardcover, but if you pre-order the paperback, it's a really, really good thing. This is a great book to take slow. I think, again, that feedback I've gotten is slow and steady wins the race. Another book I think about that should be read slow is Decolonizing Therapy. Another book that should be read that's super slow is Inner Field Trip by Lisa Renee Hall. Someone asked me for a link of book references. I believe if you are a member of the collective, if you are a paying member of the community, please go to the resources section. Everything you're looking for is in resources. Go to that resources page, scroll around, click the links, and see if what you're looking for is there, and then make a request or ask questions. Because one of the things that we have stopped doing is we're not thinking critically, one, and two, as I'm seeing this, is we're moving in so much urgency that we see what's happening around us and we move into powerlessness. And I want to remind all of us who are watching this live or the replay, none of us are powerless. The way that the media is coming at us as chaotic, they need our nervous systems dysregulated because they know if we're dysregulated, we won't get along with each other. They know that if we're dysregulated, we'll fight within each other. They know if we're dysregulated, some of us will be too afraid to move toward liberation. And so I just want to remind you all, know your zones you're in. I've shared the videos about what zone are you in. Are you in the green zone, blue zone, red zone, yellow zone? Take a nap if you need to. But people in white bodies, now is not the time to I'm leaving the country or opt out. Now's the time to truly know what it means to build community, what community care looks like, and what's possible. And a lot of people are scared to be in community. A lot of people are scared to join communities because organized religion, right? Who else has youth group hurt? Your youth group, you had some hard stories from youth group that still follow you. You got some hard stories about, these things follow us. And I don't think we recognize when we think about this journey, well, why don't we all stick together? We have different early childhood experiences. We've been exposed to different traumas. Sometimes we're trauma bonding. So we want to be really, really mindful and really, really careful about the next steps. There's so much happening. I am sure you're like, I'm done. I'm good. I'm not watching none of this. I can't do it. I'm not interested. No way. Dr. Bernice King said on Monday, and I'm going to find a clip and play it live, we are not going back. We are not going back. We have been here before. The ancestors have the answers. We don't need to create new coalitions. We just need to learn how to be and build beloved community. And community is hard when the world is not trustworthy. And I'm going to keep it real. The first person that you have to check before even going into community is yourself. You have to ask yourself a whole bunch of questions. I'm going to go into community. There are going to be behaviors that show up that remind me of my church hurt, that remind me of something that happened with a pastor. And I have to have the somatic resonance and maybe even therapy to help me go in here and not have a lot of trust, but have faith that something is different. So when a behavior, and this shows up in community, and I'm always saying, behaviors are going to show up that's going to show you parts of your childhood, and you're going to want to run or you want to opt out. The call is to lean in and inquire with yourself because it starts with you. A lot of people got on this journey and was like, let's go burn it down. Let's burn it all down. We can't burn down because if we burn down what exists, a lot of people know in their bodies is the same thing, hierarchy. That's the first thing that's going to happen. Okay, I'll take the lead. Okay, you are in charge of it's just natural in the DNA. right? There's no like, okay, let's slow down. Hold on a second. Let's slow down. Let's really see what's possible. There's no possibilities. There is no dreaming. It's straight urgency. We can't burn it down because if we burn it down, what happens to the people who are chronically ill and disabled and can't leave their homes? What's the plan? We can't burn it down because if we burn it down, what happens to people who are physically immobile? What's your plan? Right? What if the power goes out when you burn it down and everybody's got a Tesla? Then what we gonna do? Like part of organizing is strategizing and also always remembering who are you leaving behind. And that's why I keep saying this work is healing work. You cannot just look at it as fact checking and memorization. You have to go deep. Like books like White Fragility, White Rage, White Apathy, those books, I know a lot of you all have taken in the information, but have you sat with it and revisited? Like to the point, like when I can't wait for my new cover. Like if you followed me 4 years ago, you know how I felt about Robin DiAngelo. And recently I've had the chance for Robin DiAngelo to like have conversations with her over weeks and ask her hard questions that I've always been wondering and see the humanity of Robin and DiAngelo. Because like I told her, I remember telling her like the book that she wrote helped a family member understand what they have been experiencing in the workplace environments for 42 years. So had this family member not read her book, that gave her affirmation and words to what she's experienced from white women for 42 years. Could you imagine being 42 years old and having something like Heal Your Way Forward? Well, Heal Your Way Forward showing up and you're just like, oh my God, I missed a step. I missed the step. With Robin, it was just like having just really, really deep conversations. And she read Heal Your Way Forward and she was like, wow. Like she wrote a new endorsement. They're going to put it on the cover. She gave me a really good endorsement. Like, because even for her it's like we are humans first. We can learn all the big words, we can learn like all the circles, and we can, what's the action? And that's why there are certain groups that are out that exist and I'm like, you might want to slow down, because if you're in a group and all you're doing is taking action and you're not doing like collective one-on-one work, collective group work, like on the internal stuff, it's like you're just performing. And so as I think about just chapter 1 and think about the co-conspirators journey, like it is a really deep journey. Like I really am glad that I got to write about my experience of white-bodied folks and growing up in predominantly white institutions, right? I'm really glad that this book, it exists. I've never celebrated this book the way I've been celebrating it lately. Like I listen to it on Spotify. I have Spotify Premium, so I just press play. And there are times where I'm like doing something, I'm like, damn, I said that? Damn, I said that? But that's why I say live into your work, because I'm living it so much that I don't know, like I can't tell a difference, because it's like it's natural, right? So your liberation journey, you want it to get to a place where it's natural, a place where you know that I can expand and contract, because you do have to have seasons in your life where you slow down before you pick up. Here's an example. It's wintertime. You should be organizing, strategizing, visioning, and taking action in March, not in January. The safest thing for us to do is like find folk who need mutual aid support, people whose rent are due, mine's due, who wants to pay it, and things of that nature. So we have to start thinking about our body as it's interconnected with the earth, like our indigenous ancestors and siblings have taught us. We have to become one with the cycles of earth, one with nature, and we have to start like slowing ourselves down, because it's not about the pace and how fast you go. It is not about how fast you can get there, because we're just going to build another system of supremacy. It's not going to be fast. It's not going to be overnight, and it's not going to be quickly. My final couple of invitations. If you're looking for deep community, you can join us in the Heal Your Way Forward Collective. It is if you're a former member, it would have been the Co-Conspirators Lounge or the Co-Conspirators Collective. It is a monthly membership space where we get together. I teach anti-racism twice a month. Sometimes I'll bring folks like Desiree B. Stevens, Jamal from Let Me Educate You, Bobby. He's an educator. I'll bring them in and have them do teach-ins twice a month. And so like it is a space where you get anti-racism learning. You build on your communication skills with direct, compassionate communication or nonviolent communication. And you really get to work on that. Can I be in community wound? Can I sit with people who are different than I, even if we don't agree, and still be in community? And as someone who's seen what happens when you get a lot of, hey, Shannon, folk together. Shannon, Saturday schools, I'll tell you in a second. when you get a lot of y'all together, I think y'all already know what happens if you're in a white body, right? Well, this is the place where we're having fun. Thanks to Nikki, we call her the ambassador. I call her the ambassador of fun. There's dance parties, there's art party, there's arts and crafts, there's vision boarding your role in the revolution. There are game nights, the movie nights, game nights, reflection prompts. People like there's a community of people. Somebody I could go in there right now and say, hey, I need support paying my rent. I need support paying my rent. And two things pop up. Someone just goes, I'll put it on my credit card with no expectations. Like I've seen people help people. Hey, I have this extra, like trade and barter, like, you know, those Facebook groups. There are people that are shipping stuff to each other around the country. Like we're really thinking in our collective, what does it mean to have a collective that's built on a new way of moving money? How do we think about it differently? And that's why people say, you want to join a collective, you don't have it, read everything and find the scholarship link. Apply for a scholarship link. Hey, I can't contribute. Let's say it's $100. It's not right now, so you better get in where you fit in. But let's say it goes to $111 a month. You get in, you sign up, and you stay at the rate you sign up in. So you get in there, you get yourself signed up. Let's say you're like, I can't even buy eggs and milk, and you want me to pay? You want me to invest? You're going to go to that scholarship link. You're going to fill it out. And guess what? You will not hear no. We do not turn people away because of lack of funds. And a lot of people push back on that because they're like, you are a Black woman and you're doing what? And I was raised to believe that if you have a spiritual gift, ancestrally speaking, there are other ways that people can help you. Somebody could pay your rent. Somebody could pay for my kids' extracurriculars. Somebody could give me some gas gift cards for me personally. Someone could say, hey, I have this disposable income. I can't do the membership, but I would like to put up $2,000 for somebody in the collective that might need it in the future. There it is. There are other ways besides money, because the reality is I could really go there, y'all. Like money isn't real, but we're not going to get into that because then you'll be like, if money's not real, why are eggs $12? My eggs went down $2. My eggs were $12. My eggs were $12. They are back down to $8. That's interesting. Anyway, but now's the time for community. A lot of people are in apathy. A lot of people are in fear. A lot of people don't know, oh my God, what do I do? How do I, oh my gosh, this, that, and the third. Find your people. Find your community that can hold you. It's not just about, I saw a comment. I just saw a comment on YouTube. Oh, cool. It's not just about how much money you make, because people are like, well, why do we pay you so much? The platforms that we use cost money. The design tools that the team uses, the project management tool, printing stuff out, paying team, paying 5 people, paying facilitators. We love paying Black people. Your membership covers us to be able to do that, to pay Black folk, to pay team members across age, race, gender, to create and cultivate a community that's not just online, but we're getting ready to move hybrid. And so I just want to say, if you're looking for Black community, I don't want to say I love it just because I made it up, but I love it because it has been a journey. You can find an old Medium article from 2019. I've been doing this publicly since 2017. And you can see an article in 2019 where I'm like, the last sentence was like, white body folks keep ghosting me and I'm going to be here when you're ready. And I'm so glad I've stayed. I am so glad I stayed. Now, if you're going to join the collective, I'm going to see if I can do a tour without telling everyone's business. If you're on TikTok, you'll have to watch this on YouTube or Instagram. I'm going to see if I can give y'all a tour because everyone's like, what does it look like? And I'm going to show you what it looks like without telling you our community members' business, because we seek consent over everything. But a lot of people want to know, like, what am I signing up for? Is it Patreon? It is not Patreon. I'm letting you know right now. I will be lying to you to say that this looks like Patreon. Maybe people do have their Patreons like on point or something like that. It looks just like almost like a Facebook page. I don't know if you all can see it. I can't show too much because, again, I value our community. But the first page you land on is your resources. I said, if you're watching this, everything you need is right here in your resources. Everything you need to know is right here in your resources page. If you're new and you started today, I want you to go over here to challenges, jump on in this welcome challenge so you can know who we are, what we believe in, why we do what we do, etc. And pick one meetup. Here's what happens. You get excited. You want to do a thing. You want to learn. It's sometimes we just pop in, like we have our Jewish folks meeting up tonight. There's a practice coming on Friday. There is time blocking on Sunday morning. Pick one thing is all I'm trying to say. If you are like, oh my gosh, where did that come from? I've never heard of this. It looks just like a community space, almost like Facebook. There's subgroups if you want to join. There's somebody's doing cooking. I think we're bringing sign language, and you can make a request. So if you join the collective, you're going to be overwhelmed because not only do you get the collective, you get our Unlearning Academy. So there's workshops there. It's almost like a choose your own adventure. When people say what it's like to do community with Maisha T. Hill, most people say it is fun and it is choose your own adventure. It is literally choose your own adventure. And there's a parenting group that meets, there's an educators group that meets. We have subgroups for bodies of culture. So bodies of culture are in the space, in a separate space. Our Jewish family is going to have a space. Our LGBTQ plus space is going to have space. But the goal is not to segregate us. The goal is to keep us together as much as possible. And so I'm really grateful that I've been able to be in community with y'all this long and really just stand tall. It's not easy. It's not easy at all to stand tall, because that people in white bodies ghost and they don't engage. And you have days and moments where you're crying and you're like, oh my God, they don't want to do it. Why am I still doing this? And you know that there's something higher than you that keeps you doing it even when you don't want to do it. So just a reminder, that one thing you might be putting off today, go do it. And then last thing, I want to read a couple comments. We got Black Scuba Bear. Shout out to my favorite supporter of all, asking what does healing look like for him? And he says, well, I would be saying in community with like-minded individuals. And then the other reminder is for me, yes, if you can buy eggs locally, buy from your farmer's market, buy local. We're seeing right now that our farmers need us more than ever, and we need each other more than ever. I'll be back live again at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with Andre Henry. I'm really excited to talk to them today and just connect and check in. And then one final quote I want to leave you with. Rebellions are built on faith. Rebellions are built on faith. The rest says, what else can we do but be a tiny light in the darkest corner? The season that we're going into right now is required faith. And maybe you're religious and maybe you're not religious. But my very last sermon that I preached in the church, in the pulpit, was about faith. And at the end of it, everyone had to take a mustard seed to know that how big faith is versus a hope. Why don't I use hope like Star Wars? Because hope is the expectation. Faith is as small as a mustard seed. And faith is the knowing, the believing, because it also says, well, if you're a Christian, faith without works is dead. How you have faith and not put no work behind it? And that's what this work is all about. So I'll be back live here in a couple of hours. I hope you enjoyed reading chapter 1 of Heal Your Way Forward. We start chapter 2 on Monday, so stay tuned. I'm getting my timing down because I still got to recover from long COVID. Thank you all for all your support. Thank you all for just being amazing humans, remembering that we are on a healing journey, that we are practicing Sankofa, that we are looking back and pulling back the lessons to move forward. It's not about what that white person over there ain't doing. It's not about, oh, I'm a white person. It's about how can I heal my way forward? It stops with me. It starts with me. I can look back and pull lessons, but I got to keep moving forward because we ain't going back. I'll see y'all in a couple hours. Peace. Okay, I don't know what I just did, friends. I'm still here on Tickety Talk because I've never done like a live where I'm trying to go live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at the same time. And I'm still live on YouTube. Lord, I'm going to have to cut this video.